Hi there. So, welcome to this edition of Real Talk about love, dating, and marriage. And I'm totally nervous right now because I'm surrounded by some gorgeous looking, amazing women. And I'm feeling, pressured. But I mean, you would enjoy today's show. And today I'm with some single ladies, beautiful, successful, amazing, gifted. So we want to hear from them. I want you to meet this wonderful crew today. We're going to start from my right. All right. You just introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you do in a simple way. No, from that right.
Okay, my name is Omowunmi Dada. I'm an actor.
Is that all you do?
Well, that's not all I do. Okay, I'm an actor. I'm a voice artist, humanitarian, agriculturist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice. Nice to have you here. All right. Nice.
Hi, I'm Olive Emodi. Originally, my parents trained me to be a lawyer, but I'm a TV presenter, producer, actor, and a lot MC and many other things. So long as legit money is coming from it, I'm game.
All right. Thank you, Olive. On my
Okay, well, I'm Okojie. I'm an honor personality. I'm a writer. I'm also an actor sometimes. I have a very... Say what now?
Sometimes you're not so Belarus.
You must mention that part too.
I'm a satirist. That's what I choose to call my not Belarus kids. They're satire. I'm also co-founder of TechCityNG.com, a tech company that is owned by myself and my brother-in-law. Okay. Yeah, so... It's ETC.
Okay.
Another way making.
Then.
All right, so I'm Stephanie Obi. I'm a business coach and a tech founder. So I basically work with entrepreneurs to help them to scale to the nations of the world with online courses. Yeah. That's what I do.
Wow. I always heard you guys use that scale. Please explain.
So, everybody has this thing that's amazing about them. You have a gift, but many times you're limited by your city, you're limited by your country. So when you come on the internet, one of the most powerful things you can do is that you can reach thousands and thousands of people in different countries, in different continents. So that's what we mean scale. When you start going from serving 1 to 10 to 7,000. And the way you do that is by packaging and promoting yourself.
Wow. Okay. So after the show, you're going to tell me how to scale.
Yes.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming.
I'm
telling you, this is great. This is great. So basically, we want to talk about relationships, marriage. What is going on out there? What is going on? You guys are single ladies. I've been married for a while, so I've been out of the dating scene for a long time. So I don't know what's happening. What is going on out there?
This is super story.
My sister.
I'll say the men are not looking.
The men are not looking.
Okay, so the men want the good things, but they are not looking the right direction, towards the right direction.
I think some men are just insecure. Maybe particularly for some of us who are here, right? We are ambitious. We want to follow our passions. We are very assertive, and we don't apologize for it. And for some weird reason, they are very uncomfortable with it. It's like, be ambitious, but reduce it.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's a bit of a problem, because you find men who say stuff like, I want a woman who is intelligent, a woman who is her own woman, and then you see her and then you start trying to tweak it. It's like, bro, decide.
Yeah.
Okay, so to buttress that, I think a lot of men don't know what they want. They have an idea of what they want, but they don't know it. Such that when they now meet that person who is exactly what they want, they're like,
Or they are not looking away. They are acting like they are there, but they are not there. So it's like, we've seen a lot of people who seem like the good package on the outside, but then it's time for you, okay, this looks like a good deal. Let's move forward to the next level. It's like, well, you know what? Let's see how this goes. Let's see how what goes.
You
Are
know.
you really okay?
And I like you as a friend, I really, really appreciate
I like you. I love you.
But let's see how it goes.
I love you too. But
Let's see how it goes.
let's see how it goes after 1 year.
Okay,
We have to see how it goes.
and most times at this time you have become a bit invested in the relationship, right?
Yeah, emotionally.
Well, sometimes I guess.
Yeah, because if you say let's see how it goes and there's nothing going on, I mean, you
So
don't
this
care.
is what I do. This is what I have come to believe. When a man sees what he wants, he knows exactly that this is it. But sometimes they know, and then they go for it. So when a man is inconsistent, I hate inconsistency in my life.
It's the most
When a
annoying
man
thing.
is inconsistent, I just say, yo, Omowunmi, this is not it. Because for the man who I want to be the head of my home, inconsistency is not one of the values. that
Preach.
you should have.
You are preaching right now.
No, it's not. And it's really crazy because you're with someone who likes you. If a man asks you out, he asks you out. If he says, be my friend, he means be my friend. If he says, let's see how it goes,
That's what he means.
I'm not here
We're not
for
sure,
you.
yeah.
We're just playing. Ringa,
Yeah.
ringa. So keep him as a friend. So when you tell me this is what you want, I take it. Even if you now insinuate, I think, don't worry. While you're thinking,
The market is
I'm
still
moving
open.
forward. So that's my destiny. Shall we?
Make his way through.
That is not to say that there aren't men
Or
that
some guys,
have a good
actually.
head on their shoulders
Yeah.
and know what they're doing and know what they want and go for it. But it's just that the population and the ratio dynamics.
It's skewed.
Wow.
But I think that they're also. Carry
the
on.
fact that a man knows what he wants, he's settled, he has a good job, he's a marriageable age, he wants to get married, doesn't necessarily mean he is ready. So I have realized that there is that readiness,
Readiness.
that mental readiness
Readiness.
Yeah.
for marriage. Also, he might be a great guy, but he's not a great guy for you.
Yeah, there's that too.
We've met
There's that
really
too.
some really great
Great
guys
guys.
that you meet them and everything, but there's just that friction. There's just that friction, and then sometimes they say opposites attract. It's a lie.
It's not true.
It's a lie.
All the time.
Vicky, I think Vicky should actually address
The
this.
values
true?
should
Yes.
align. The
Is it
values
true that
should
opposites
align.
attract?
Oh yes, opposites attract, but it's not opposites in terms of values. It's opposites more in terms of temperament. So, for instance, an outgoing person might be attracted to somebody that is a bit laid back. So that's what they mean. So
Vicky,
in
but
that
doesn't
way,
really
in
apply
that,
to me.
I'm
yes,
the
but
exception.
yes, but no, but wait. You will find out later that you might need that, and even in the case where that doesn't apply to you, you will still find other areas where your being opposite helps. The issue is that being opposites actually helps to complement. It's like if you want to put two things together, if they are like this, then they're not going to come together. But when we go like this, we can now come together. So usually in most marriages, you will see one person is a spender, the other person is a saver. One person might be a night person, the other person is a morning person. So that's kind of thing they mean, not values in terms of, oh, I believe in faithfulness, you don't believe in faithfulness, then we are no.
Right.
So do we
No,
now
it's not
start to
values.
adjust our expectations? Because for me now, I would say that I'm a very firm person. I'm very confident. And I seem to only be attracted to people like that are very firm, very confident in themselves, But somehow,
Yes, they might not find you attractive. So most times, if you are vivacious and outgoing and very goal-driven, you would likely attract. When I mean attract, I don't mean who you're attracted to. I mean who you attract into your life. There are different things.
Yeah.
I can be attracted to this person, but
person
I'm not
not.
attracting them into my life. But when you're like that, the person you attract that would like to stay is somebody that is a bit laid back.
So I don't want to.
Usually, all right? Yes.
I don't want to be too spiritual about this, yes. But I think that, especially for a Christian woman like me, there is an idea of, my future husband that I have in my head. And I'm here thinking, am I being realistic? Because, the Lord has said to make your supplications known. And it's like, God, I want him to be like this and this and this and this and this. And I find that sometimes the only kind of people whom I see possess those personalities, majority of the time, they are not saved. Like that's literally the deal breaker. It's like they are confident and they are attracted, they are very supportive, they are in my corner, they get my sense of humor, they understand how to banter with me, all of these things, but he don't go to church. It's like, God, I get it. You created this man, but you just draw him close to you. And like,
I never tried to start doing missionary.
Sis!
I want to
She has branches.
Come to my church. We're having this child program. You are invited.
You know what
I know you
I've
think you can
learned?
change them, but you can't change them.
You know what I've learned? You cannot change a man.
My mom says that all the time.
Also, salvation is very personal. You need to know God for yourself, you know, and accept Him. I've been with someone who was great, who was everything, you know, but he said, it's so funny. He said, God, what do people call God? I just think, you know, there's a mystery. You know, And I looked at him and I said, oh God, this is mystery. No, thank you.
You see, I like that. And that will address what you said. Sometimes these people you are saying are everything. If they lack that spiritual part, then they are not everything.
Yeah.
You know, and they might look good now, but them not having that relationship with God will start coming up. You see, because when you are dating and when you are married, they are kind of different. The things you are, I tell young people all the time, all you need to like when you're teenage years, maybe 19, 20, all you need to like a guy is a fine hairstyle. The guy with the coolest hairstyle in youth church or in secondary school or university is the guy that, hey, this guy is cool. When you get married, it's the guy with the best lifestyle that you like. You see. When you are single, the guy that is spending on you, the way he's spending is what you like. When you get married, it's the way he's saving that you like. Because now you have children, you're thinking of your future. So most people don't know how to balance the two.
It's a culture shock.
Yes. Yeah. So this guy you are thinking, by the time you marry, those godly values will matter more to you than some of the things you think are important now. So it's good that you are making the right judgment call by saying, this major thing is not here, and it's a problem. Then another thing, hold that thought, so don't forget it. Another thing again is that sometimes God blesses you in potential. So ladies make that mistake because you guys have the grace to fantasize. That's how God made you. You guys are great with dreaming. Women are great dreamers. Yes. Most women come like that. You come, especially when it comes to the area of marriage, you generally fantasize, you dream. And all the movies for children, all the movies for girls are built around that. Fantasy, Cinderella, blah, blah, blah. They are built around those things. So what happens to you is that you have the finished product as the image in your mind. Like your list is full of finished products. But usually, what God will give you is raw materials.
Hey.
And those raw materials will produce that finished product. You see, if God gives you that finished product, you will fight so hard for it because many people will be after it. So, but God gives you the raw material. That way, you mold it, the finishing to your taste. So let me give you an example. Many women will say things like, I'm a graduate, I want undergraduate. The average woman will think that. That's not what you want. What you want is somebody intellectually compatible with you. Because there are many graduates that you can't stand. Yes.
Can I ask a question about that potential, please?
Yes.
So I understand it. And if I'm below 30, I understand it. I understand potential.
Once you cross.
But when I get to 34, 35, and the guy I want to marry is older, will I still be looking for potential
Good
at
question.
that age?
Good question. So I also say people don't marry potential, marry patterns.
Okay.
All right, so that's what I say. Don't marry potential. Everybody has Nigeria has potentials. If we were all waiting for that, we would have missed everything. So follow patterns. So if a guy is, let's say, 40 and he's not rich, my question is, okay, what were you doing from 30 to 40? If I see the patterns, I can predict how you can be later. I can predict you are putting in enough work. And I can look at it and say, if I come in with what I have, with what I can add to your life, we will surely make it happen. You know, so that's like, well, if I see that the patterns are showing, in fact, some people that even they have shown their potential already, has manifested, but the patterns are showing that this thing won't last. This guy's lifestyle, he won't. It's not sustainable. So it's the patterns you should look out for. Patterns don't lie. All right. So going back about this thing. So sometimes God gives you those things. Like I said, when I met my wife, I had OND. She had a master's degree.
Whoa.
Yes. Many ladies wouldn't have married me. Yes. But intellectually, I'm still high up there. I'm more intellectually compatible with her than a lot of master's degree holders.
And now she's grateful that
she's so happy. I don't have to go into that one. I'm sure she's very happy. So you need to like spiritually minded ladies, for instance, they want a man of God. So they either like their pastor kind of person or some spiritual mentor they have. So they want a man that's like that. What they don't realize is that guy too didn't get there like that. So they want a man of God. What they really should look out for is a child of God. Because a child of God, being determined, will grow to become a man of God.
Man of God with a touch of
Swag.
Yes. You see, now, yes,
Romance.
that's another thing. So what you look out for is that does he have the capacity to actually evolve and grow? That's what you should look out for. Not where he is right now. What I'm looking for is the pattern. It's like a race. When you see somebody's momentum, you know that he will overtake people ahead of him because he has a good pace. Somebody else is out there in front, but you can see that this one is his last energy. He's going to faint any minute from now. He's not going to make it, even though he looks out there. So you must be able to balance when God is bringing someone to your life. Don't look at them just based on the end point that you want, because you have those images. You know what? My wife even told me she didn't find me physically attractive when we met. It happens. But she knew that. But she knew that if he grows a beard, if he keeps an afro, he will look like it. You see, she was able to look beyond. Now, if you see my picture, then you will understand. Trust me. If you see my picture, then I was very thin.
Context.
Yes, yes, exactly. So she had the major point. So the point is that women need to balance that. If they don't balance, if they stick too much to their fantasy idea, they will lose out on the potential that God brings. Even though I also want to say that a lot of people that also come in potential form, that's their best. They're not going to grow beyond that. So some other people compromise too and take a potential project that will never mature or harvest. So
we don't get on such projects.
Amen.
This physical attraction pattern we can just talk about. It's a little somehow because there's some people that you meet on paper they tick all the boxes, but you're asking yourself, why can't I like this person like I should like them? And it's very painful because sometimes you're at the point where you're saying, hey, I hope I'm not missing something great that in the future I'll regret, because you know that this person on paper ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
But you just don't feel like this is the connection.
Also,
is
to
just
buttress,
not there.
to buttress your point, this guy is amazing. He has a good heart, yada yada yada. But say, for example, he's short, and you're one of those ladies that like very tall men.
Yes.
You want to be hugged and enveloped,
Yes.
and you want to feel safe and feel like a baby in your man's arms. But this guy, if you wear heels, you're like up there and he's
Down there.
also, I know that men of God always say that marry your spec. And I have friends who are Christian men and who have been married for 5 years, 6 years, and the way they gush over their wives, about their wives, like, can't you see, she has bobo, what am I looking for out there? It's possible that if that man had married an Okpelenge like me, he would have looked elsewhere, you understand? But in this case, Pastor K, I like those guys. I'll not lie. But let's say there's this great guy who's now short. I really, if I look at him, I can't be attracted to him.
And people even say, how is the picture? I'm telling you, that's it. We should start that hashtag.
No, honestly, babes. The thing is, we can't all like the same thing.
Absolutely.
Some guys like them big. Some like them tiny like me.
Yeah.
Some guys like them taller than them. Some like,
the key is that because people have actually mentioned that, how would the wedding pictures even be? Or how would pictures be? So people use that.
When we step out red carpet,
yes, how will it look?
I think it's shorter guys often like taller women.
Of course, they have to. They have to help their generation. So they have to. But the key is this. It still boils down to the same thing I'm saying. Ladies especially have built too much pictures in their mind.
Does this mean men don't build those pictures as well?
not as much as we
not
do.
as much. Women have a stronger sense of fantasy when it comes to marriage. Men, most times, they're dreaming about wealth. Men believe they have enough money, they can really marry anybody they want to marry. They can, get any fine woman in the world. But women generally fantasize more about how perfect they want everything to be relationally. All right.
For God to admit us that way, then I don't know.
It's good, but you have to be flexible because let me tell you something. Your emotions don't work independently of themselves. You need to know that your emotion doesn't just come up. If you say, like you said, why don't I like this person? Your emotions are not operating by themselves. They are operating based on what your mind is informing them. So if your mind is full of the image of the kind of guy you think you want to like, and that image didn't come up by itself. It was formed, it was conditioned somewhere, either by what you see. And that's why, slimmer ladies anywhere in the world get more clothes, more attention than people that are a bit on the bigger side. Simple, because from when we're young, even from cartoon, how many fat or plump people do you see in cartoon? Every main person in cartoon is slim. Then watch movies, slim. Then watch a pageant, slim. Then watch musical videos, slim. Then watch models, slim. So most guys have the idea that the slim girl is fine because that's just what they've seen all their life. But there are some tribes and some cultures where fat women are the attractive women, and every woman tries to be fat.
Like that, yeah.
It's just conditioning. So your mind has been conditioned of an image. So when you see a guy that is not that image, even if the guy is great for you, you don't get, your emotions doesn't come up. So your emotions don't operate by themselves. Let me give you an example. If you're a bag lover, if I just take a bag now and no label on it, you're a bag lover, no label on it. If I show you the bag, you just be like, okay, bag. If I just write LV on that bag,
Ooh, you go.
same bag. But you
Stirs
see, because your
excitement.
thoughts are linked to that name, and then it stirs up your emotions. Just that simple. So your emotions are not dependent. So most time we succumb and submit to our emotions. No, they're not independent. They're operating based on what we think.
Where does so when you say, okay, let's try not to have too many high expectations and all of that, but we still hear stuff like marry who you are attracted to. So how do we balance that?
Okay. It's not that you shouldn't have high expectations. You should just make sure that you're actually placing premium on the right things. So, for instance, the things that are valid. So, what most men do, I know it might not be you guys here, but what some women do is that I can't marry a man that is not rich. You see, that is a wrong parameter.
So they are attracted to the riches and
Yes,
the wealth.
and there can be a guy that is rich but doesn't treat you right. There can be a guy that is rich that doesn't respect you. There can be a guy that is rich that cheats on you. So what you should look out for is things like a faithful person, then somebody that respects you, somebody that likes you, somebody that is committed to God. You see, when you have those core ones, the other ones usually are flexible. So for instance, I can say I like a fair lady, but what if I meet a dark lady that has all these good qualities I want? Am I going to throw away this dark lady that I met just because I'm attracted to fair? The question is, why am I so attracted to fair? If you now trace it, you'll find out it's just an image you got from an image. There's no reason why a fair person is better than a dark person.
What if there are no sparks between the both of you?
That's what I'm saying. Your emotions are not operating independently of themselves. It's operating by your mind. Like I said, the pair of shoes I showed you that had LV and one that didn't have LV, they're the same shoes. But your emotions suddenly changed when you saw a name.
I know, but this conditioning has happened for years.
Yes.
And it's not going to just change
like that.
Yes.
So there's another one that you might say, okay, let me use my brain and think about it, but it's tough. Like, for instance, if you're turned off by somebody with an accent, you know, I don't know how I'm going to have, how will I say? Like, I know that you're great and all of that, but see, I believe in the God of abundance. Like, God will bring another person who has great qualities and does not have
An
accent.
accent.
Like, it's tough.
Yes, it is tough. But the earlier you start being flexible, I'm just saying that because you must be stringent or whatever on the ones that are. You must have deal breakers and the ones that you are flexible about. You can't say, oh, if it's not exactly this height, it can never work. You can't say that.
But sometimes it's okay when you just meet this person, you don't even give him the chance.
That's the problem.
to see whether it's
That's the
fantastic or
problem.
not.
Yes,
He
that's the
opens his
problem.
mouth and then, and you're like, what? Bye. You know, someone like me now, in my mind, I've curated that guy. In fact, I can see him, he's blowing me kisses right now. You know, how he looks, how he smells, you know, his good, how he walks, you know, how neat his apartment will be, how he, you know,
And a good sense of humor.
yeah, with a
Very
good sense of
important,
what?
very-
In fact, sometimes my friends will be like, Omowunmi, you live in that utopian world. You know, that's, you're just one miss. In fact, there was a time they used to call me Miss Romanticism.
Wow.
Don't worry, your husband is in the oven. And I honestly believe that he will come. But I mean, all of these things, he has to have those core values. Though.
Yes, those core ones can't be shaken. Because the issue
Her
is
core
that
value
some
is
people,
that it doesn't have body odor.
No.
but all that can be arranged. Even that can be arranged.
No, my number one core value is that he has to love God.
As in, and not by mouth, not loving God by mouth, like really practically love God.
Okay, so this matter of loving God, if we're being honest, she raised a very valid point. I think when you're younger, it's very easy to be like, no, this guy must love God. And then you get to a certain stage, and then you meet this great guy that's, he loves God, he believes in God, but not too much like that. You know, it's just there. And then you're thinking, can I take this risk? You know, sometimes you know that you're not going to date this person, but in that moment, you just enjoy having conversations with this person.
Yeah.
Because it's been long you met someone that has sense like this.
I met you on that level, yeah.
Yeah, so
It gets complicated sometimes.
yes, it
I
does
think
get-
that Instagram is a constant reminder of why we cannot marry anyone in the love of God. Because when you read some stories, it's a bit scary. And you start asking yourself, how? How is this happening? And it all boils down to the fundamentals.
Oh,
There's no love of, as in, fear of God is not there.
Yeah.
Because if you love God,
And lots of things you wouldn't do.
exactly, that's
so
simple as
many
that.
things you would not
So
compromise
even
on.
though, you know, and you find that sometimes when we start making all this kind of rationalization,
Excuses, yes.
it's desperation. And,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
it starts to set in. I just think,
Maybe.
I
But I think, like
can.
you said, sometimes we are prioritizing the least important things. So it's like, oh, he doesn't love God. That's the most important. But what else does he have?
Now I bring number 5, I make number 1.
You know how to dress.
I think at the end of the day, sometimes it's about discovering yourself.
So,
Who are you? That's it. I mean, at some point, maybe when I was 26, 27, I'm like, maybe if he doesn't. I mean, he's a fine boy. He doesn't really like us. Don't worry, we'll talk to him and everything. But when you come to that realization of you've discovered who you are, your own values, the things that will work for you, there are some things that will not attract you. Say, me, for example, now, a man, I dated someone who became a Muslim. Yeah. And I knew at that point in time that it wasn't going to work.
yeah.
He was the sweetest ever. But I knew that it wasn't going to work because I know myself and I know that my spirituality is key for me.
Yeah.
And as young as when I was 16 or something, one of my uncles told me that, Mom, don't marry someone who is not spiritually aligned with you.
Yeah.
So if you are a Jehovah Witness, it makes sense to marry just someone who is Jehovah Witness. You know, if you're an MFM, somebody. Because someone like me now, it's kabash, you know, I speak in tongues and all of those things. But marry someone
Who doesn't believe in the things that you
Yes,
believe.
believe in.
There's going to be that friction.
Yeah.
I want to hold hands with my husband and we agree on certain
tongues.
things.
Do you know when this thing now becomes a problem? Because I remember that there was a time when there was someone that I was talking to that we're not sort of on the same spiritual page like that. And I then got into this fix. And no matter how spiritual you are, there are times when you see the problems of life, you can't even pray for yourself. You want someone to pray for you. And then you now start thinking, then at that point I looked at my life, it was my female friends I was calling.
You can't tell him now because he's not there.
And that brings me to the point that if you have a guy that is tall, as someone wants, and that can't do this, and there's one that is short and is really supporting you through your hard times. It's basically all women. All women are like that. It's not even her.
I know, but like even
that was all and everything, but I still broke up with him. Spirituality is number 1.
It's very important.
And because it was because I realized that, Omowunmi, this is who you are. They work.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you make, spirituality or like closeness to God your most important factor, they make it look as if, Mommy, what happened? Are you the first to love God?
Yeah, but see, that's not a problem. That just means those are not the kind of people for you. That's how I see it. It's not a problem. If you don't value what I value, it simply means we can't roll on that level. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me share my question with you. What about you meet somebody who's a Christian, he loves God, when you meet him, I'm so happy that you are a Christian. I'm so happy that you can pray because I've been looking for a woman who can pray. And I'm like,
Esther.
you're looking for who will replace
Pray your prayer, bro.
Who will be praying for you? So that's another level. What about somebody who he's just not like we are lukewarm Christians. Okay, we are going to church, we are okay. But he's not pursuing any personal spiritual growth. He's depending on your own work with God. Yeah, but that's still not the person you want.
So well, unfortunately, PK, what we see is that there are more. I don't know if it's from my circle, but I find that more women are on fire for God than men. So right from when we're young, no, it's not that there aren't men. There are men that are on fire for God. I've met quite a number. But right from when we're young, a lot of us were taught how to pray and all that. From a young age, your mother will make you lead devotion at home. You go to vigils. Then you've been able to put in some level of work. And then you meet somebody that does not even understand what it means to take authority in your home. Yeah. And then you are telling, how can I? And then you say, okay, I should submit to you. I want to submit to, I don't understand. I feel that we put in a lot of work into building ourselves.
And the men are
yes, but we don't find a lot of men. I'm really glad that you're doing mentorship, PK. Yeah. And please, any man who is not subscribed to PK's mentorship, please subscribe. Because we find that women are the ones that they'll say, oh, there's this women's meeting, we'll go. When women pray.
Even men's programs. Women do men's programs.
Yes.
Because there's also someone else.
But then, I asked a guy, do you have a mentor? And the guy said, I don't believe in mentorship. Because some of them feel that they already know too much. Yeah. So I think that's a conversation we need to have. People need to see someone that has walked the path that they've walked, so they don't have to go through that again.
Yeah.